Welcome back to Conversations. You've been with us for the first part of the show. You have a fascinating conversation with my guest this week, who is Gabrielle Beaumeyer. And we're looking at this issue of philanthropy and giving and caring and concern, answering the age-old question, who's my neighbor? How do we understand humanity? How do we serve each other? And to do it, you do it in the classic ways that we've always talked about. You can do for individuals, providing care and provisions that people need. Do things with human beings, collaboratively helping people to help themselves. Being for by advocating for people in need and changing unjust structures and systems. And being with, sharing life with whomever in community that is sent our way. And I think those four have always been the thing that Dr. King and others have talked about, to begin to grow together a community that understood how to look after each other, how to care for each other. You were just saying before the break that it was important to understand that what I do and how I serve and what I choose to be involved in is so important.
Yes, I do believe that. And you know, we were talking about the question of what can I do to make an impact. And you know, to answer that question, I think we first have to deal with the fact that we have a lack of leadership in our city. We have a lack of leadership in our country, and people really being willing to step up and to be a voice for others. You know, in our current times, we see children who are out in the streets and starting protests and rallies, and they're young and they're uninhibited, and they see that something has to change and they're willing to take a step. And how many of us are not willing to do that?
A lot of hope in this new generation, a lot of hope in these young people. And the young lady whose name just escapes me, who part of that movement from the school and the shooting, she's going to be president one day. There's no doubt
Emma Gonzalez?
Yes. What is her name again? Emma Gonzalez, that's
yes.
Right. She is something else, a force to be reckoned with.
Yes, I watch those kids and I say, well, they're kind of putting some of us to shame here, because how many of us sit on our couch and wait for somebody else to take action, and these kids just weren't willing to do that.
And they're determined to keep the movement alive. They're very clear that this is not a one-shot thing.
No.
We're going to be around. And I think by putting pressure and lobbying and getting adults out of their comfort zone to move forward, to say, look, you have to help us.
Yes.
And whether you're going to help us or not, we're still going to do it. We're going to move forward, but we'd love to have your help. Really, as you said, put some people on the spot who needed to be put on the spot, who've been talking a good game. If words would have done it by now, it surely would have been done.
Yes.
But have not taken the action steps, and have not been willing, for one reason or another, to, as they see it, disenfranchise certain people and organizations, when in reality it is the longer, big picture view for all our children that we all must be taking.
Yes. Yeah. Well, if they're not going to step up and do it, who is? Because nobody's coming.
No.
Nobody's going to come and wave the magic wand and make all of this disappear. It's really going to take us individually saying, okay, what can we do? What are we willing to do? And you know, by no means am I saying, you know, quit your job and become a professional protester or anything of that sort, but it really can take small steps. And so here we are. And my question to people is usually, what is it that interests you? Where is it that your skills and talents can make an impact? What can you bring? Where have you been educated, and what have you learned over the years that you've been working or doing, whatever it is that you're doing in your community, and where can you serve? And if people can ask themselves that question, it can go far.
And as we said under the big D of the sign behind us, diversity, there's enough issues to go around.
Yes.
Whatever your passion is, find what your passion is, play to your passion, choose something, but get involved and get engaged and do it, because standing on the sidelines is not an option anymore.
Right, waiting for somebody else to do it.
Right.
We have that habit, I will call it, of waiting and putting responsibility on others. You know, we live a very blessed life in the United States. We have many privileges, we have many things to be grateful for, and if we just give back in 2%, in whatever form or fashion it can be, whether it's monetary or whether it's your talents or your treasures, or giving back through meeting the right people and connecting the right people in social circles, that can make a difference as well.
And collaborating and doing those things in partnership that we can do better by actually doing in partnership and with collaboration. That famous poem about the death of somebody else died, there is no one else, the else is us, to do it and take over. I think the challenge, though, is that so many of us departmentalize our activities. In our personal, professional, and public lives, we don't realize that all three of those are connected. The issues that impact one area of our life impacts all areas. And I think part of this thing that I've seen in the last few years is showing people the connectiveness, interdependency, interrelatedness, interconnectiveness of all the spheres of their lives, and how the overlap really is there for a reason, so that you can be in alignment and be in congruency in how you talk about these issues to your different circles.
Yes.
And I think that's important.
Yeah, it's appropriate that you say that too, because as you opened up, you said there's the public sector, the private sector, and the philanthropic sector. Well, what about just the human sector?
Yeah.
We
Well,
even
but we
separate
don't see
ourselves.
ourselves
No,
that
we
way.
don't.
We don't see, and Dr. Kleinberg is so good about that. Yes, Houston, the third largest city, the most diverse international city in America, yada, yada, yada. The second part of that was also the most racially, economically segregated city
Yes.
in America, the most gated community in America. And so all those things play in. And I might add, because we're on this path, we're also in the second era of the resegregation of public education in Houston, Texas. So those are just reality. Those
Yes.
are facts. So in dealing with the facts and reality, which leads you then to say, okay, then we have to really sit down and think for a moment, well, what is my role as a human being?
Right.
What role do I play? Do I want to play? Should I play? Do I need to play? But here's, I think, how to think about it. How do I play my respective roles as a human being, as a citizen, as the constituent, and as the congregant? Because that's where we spend our lives.
Right.
The things that impact us as a citizen living in a democracy under citizenship, the things that impact us as a constituent in our voting life, in our civic life, and then the other part that we spend so much time talking about but really don't deal with, and we're going to get to this conference in a moment, the congregant part of our being.
Yes.
Congregant being church, parish, temple, synagogue, and mosque, Friday, Saturday, Sunday worship is all the same. But we have a role and expectation to play in that environment also, do we not?
Yes, absolutely we do. Now, I'll tell you, I'm one of the first people that, likes my seclusion and likes to be alone and to, go off in my little cave every so often. But what I've found out, Larry, is that that's not where I thrive.
Right.
I thrive when I'm in a congregation. I thrive when I'm with people.
Yeah.
And when I focus on others.
Yeah.
That's really where I get to be alive. And I think that at a basic level, we've forgotten that.
And I think we have also forgotten that human beings all need and want three things. We want to feel safe and secure. We want to feel like we belong, a sense of belonging to family, to tribe, to community, or even a gang. And we want to feel that our lives have made a difference and we've made a contribution.
Yes.
If I can give you within the crucible, in the context, if I can offer and afford you those three things in your life in an ongoing way, in your personal, professional, and public lives, and show you the connection of those, then I think people are able to respond, because they want to respond.
Yes.
We just got to make it a way that touches them, that pricks them, that captures their imagination about what could be. It's
And
all
puts
about
them in action.
In action. We're going to take a small pause and break. When we come back, we're going to look at this work that we're talking about, referencing a conference that has taken place, actually as we speak, the ending of it, and about faith communities at work in issues. And then we're going to talk about, as we end up today, looking at this whole thing of having a heart. What does it mean to have a heart that gives and understands unconditional love? Please stay tuned and we'll be right back.